of HSE Mindset channel's live program today 3 p.m. We are starting with the safety officer's responsibilities. Safety officer job is not an easy job. Safety officer is always a very important and responsible positions. You have a lot of positions, but the safety officer is different from the all types of positions are there, but the safety officer is more responsible than anyone else because simply you cannot stay. This job is meant for protecting the people, protecting the environment, protecting the health of the people. So that's why the safety officer is one of the vital position for any industries because you are a proactive person. You must protect the people and the environment. So that is the major role you have to play because the safety officer job is not a simple job. It's a job of all characters. When the safety officer not properly functioning, then the accidents, incidents, life of the employees are questioned. Whether small or big, it's not a matter. The safety officer is always a safety officer. When a safety officer is fully responsible, then he will be the correct person for that position. He will go up in a top position. From the beginning itself, when a safety officer properly know the responsibility of the safety officer, then he will know it how to act as a safety officer. When he know how to act as a safety officer, he will be the successful future safety manager. He'll be the successful future safety director or head of the safety department. So from the beginning, from the junior level, as a safety officer, how you are building a character, how you are building a safety officer attitude, how you are building a safety officer behavior, that is important. When some of your employer assigned you as a safety officer, then how you are yourself making as a safety officer career is depends upon you in your own working style and working conditions. When a safety officer knows what are the responsibility of the safety officer means, definitely he will improve day by and he will become a successful safety manager. When a safety officer know his strength, his responsibilities, that is the main thing for a safety officer. Because the safety officer job is every day, even we can say every hour, is a learning process. When you are learning, then only you will be a successful safety manager or safety director or top of the safety department. When you are not learning, you are not in a proactive way, when you don't know the responsibility of the safety officer, but then you will not fit for the safety officer job. So that is the main thing for each and every persons. Here the responsibility of the safety officer. So what are the responsibility of a safety officer? You see, number one, workplace expectation. We can say workplace inspection. So the workplace inspection is identifying the hazards. Number one is workplace inspection. when a safety officer going for workplace inspection, he definitely needs to find out the hazards. When you are going in a room, you cannot tell there is no hazards in the room. When there's something blocked in pathway, it's a hazard. Electrical wire hanging or any electrical equipment is switched on, it's a hazard. Then whatever materials found nearby door or window, it's a hazard. The same thing when you are going to construction industry, when you are going for oil and gas industry, when you are going for any kind of industry, you have to find hazard. That is the worst thing, workplace inspection. So you must know the art of finding the hazard. When the people, whether IOSH or NIBOSH IGC, there is a paper called practical examination. So they'll ask you to go to the factory and ask them to find out the hazards. Why? Because when the safety officers knows how to find the hazards, that is the way to inspect the place. That is the way for the workplace inspection. So the safety officer's first thing for workplace inspection, he must identify the hazards. Construction industry or oil and gas or any kind of industries, you should not ignore the minor or micro level hazards, because micro level hazards only makes major accidents in the organization or companies. But when you are seeing in a general perspective, is not a correct way. When you are going into depth and seeing what are the hazards in a micro level, when keeping on finding the hazards, how many numbers you are finding the hazards, that much credibility is there for you as a safety officer. Because safety officer only know what is hazard, where it's found. Because when a person driving the vehicle, but the opposite person itself is a hazard, or driver itself a hazard. Because if something happened for driver, he carelessly speaking the mobile phone, that is a hazard. The same thing, you have to find out the hazards everywhere, whether it's a small or big, or site or office, it's not a matter. You have to find out the hazards. So when you are going for workplace inspection, you must know identifying the hazards. Second one, safety policies enforce rules. When you are going for site for inspection, you have to see what are the areas safety policies lagging. You are the person, you have to tell them, employees, to enforce the safety policy of the company. If your safety policy says that everyone must wear the helmet, but some of them not wearing the helmet, you have to ask to enforce the rule, wear the helmet. Whether top person or company's topmost employee or manager or lower grade, it's not a matter. Your main thing to tell them, you have to enforce the rules of the company saying that wear the helmet. The same thing when a person driving in the yard or in the site, the site speed limit 40 kilometer. So if the person driving more than 40 kilometers, 60 kilometers, 80 kilometers, maybe he may be the manager, but you have to stop the vehicle and tell the manager, sir, the site itself, there is a speed limit 40 kilometers, but you are not following the safety rules, safety policy of the company. You are exceeding the speed limit, so it's a violation. You have to ask them, you have to give some violation notice and enforce the rules, that is 40 kilometers per hour within the site. Then you have to 40 kilometers, maybe more in some sites, maybe 20 kilometers in hazardous sites. So you have to tell them you have to follow 20 kilometers per hour. That is our speed limit of the company. Then you have to give some violation notice and ask them to enforce the 20 kilometer speed for that site, or 40 kilometer speed for that site. So that will be your role to enforce the safety policy of the company. Then safety training. So you have to make sure you are providing the safety training for all the employees in the organization, whether it's a small or big, whether it's a site or anything else. For example, subcontractors are there, or different contractors are there, but whatever may be, you are the responsible for that site, means you have to make sure everyone gets the proper HSE training. So that you must have the responsibility of safety trainings. So workplace safety inspection, safety policies enforcement, then safety training, train the workers. Okay, next one is incident investigation. So incident investigation means whatever incident, whether minor or major, you have to investigate whatever incident happening in that company or in the site. So being a safety officer, you are the responsible for the investigating the incident. That is your prime most responsibility. When you are keeping on investigating the incidents, then only you can learn and finding the root cause. That will be one of the way of learning the safety, train the employees and preventing the accidents. So that will be the incident investigation or accident investigations. Next one is permit to work. So you have to establish a system for permit to work, because whatever hazard work, whatever hazardous or risk work, you must have a proper permit to work system to protect the employees, because the hot works, confined space area, or any risk jobs definitely required permit to work system. Being a safety officer, you have to make sure you are checking the permits properly, whether the hot works given or cold work permit given, hot work permit given, or risk jobs, what jobs, hot work, cold work, or any work. When the permit to work given, the safety officer is main responsibility to check the permits, whether everything is okay, all safety system okay, all employees okay, PP is okay. So everything the safety officer must check, then only he has to clear the permit to work system. Then permit to work checkpoints. So you have to check the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever points you have to visibly go and check, then only you have to issue the permit to work system to the concerned worker or concerned subcontractor or anyone. Because if the permit to work system exactly correct, then there is no accidents. Because of these kind of permit to work system minimizing the accident, or it's totally removing the accidents. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Hello. Yes. So we have seen the permit to work system. When the permit to work system is exactly correct, then no worries about that. So that's why when you have a permit to system, you have to check from top to bottom, visibly check and correct. That will be the correct way of checking the permit to work systems. So that's why safety officers always in a proactive mode to check the permit to work system. Then you have a emergency preparedness. So for this, the emergency preparedness, being a safety officer, you have to regularly conduct the drills. What drills? Mock drills. Mock drills, that is MOCK, mock drills. It means emergency preparedness, emergency evacuation drills. We will call it as a emergency evacuation drills. Based on your company risk and hazard, every company their own policies, how many duration or how frequently you can conduct a emergency evacuation drill. Within 3 months, within 6 months, within a year. So emergency evacuation drill is responsible for the safety officer to conduct in any kind of industry. So that is why emergency preparedness, the conducting the drills. When you are conducting the drills, you should not simply conduct the drills. You have to make sure everyone attending the drill, even third parties, you are practicing the first aid, whether you are practicing the firefighting system, fire alarm, fire extinguishers, then ambulance group, third parties, you have to involve everyone. You have to involve top management to bottom line to participate in emergency evacuation drills or mock drills. That drills safety officer responsibility to conduct if the high risk industry means within 3 months. Sometimes 15 days once. Oil and gas means so fire chances is high. That's why some people they'll do 15 days once emergency fire drills. But when it comes to the risk jobs, 3 months once. But somewhat moderate risk 6 months. Or very less risk means yearly once they will do the drills. It's according to the risk and hazard of the nature of the job. Then monitoring and compliances. So monitoring and compliances is totally safety officer's responsibilities. When safety officer is properly monitoring, then only he can reduce the accidents, incidents. And when the compliances means if the legal part, if the country or local or international safety rules and regulation you have to follow. When you are following, if the legislative, for example, the country, the people of government authorities, they are coming and inspecting you, you have to show the records. When you conducted the drills, how many first aids you have, how many accidents you happen, you want accident reports, incident reports. So these all, you must have a statistics, you must show it to the concerned legal authorities or statutory bodies. So that is safety officers' main responsibilities. Then, so here we can say, we can summarize what are the responsibility of the safety officers. Identifying the hazards, then controlling the risk. Identifying the hazards, controlling the risk is a safety officer job. Train the workers, enforcing the rules, and emergency and compliances. So enforce the rules. Then they have to train the employees in incident investigations. So this all comes under the responsibility of the safety officer. Safety officer job is not just a job for any employees. When you have a proper knowledge, then only you will be a safety officer. When the safety officer not properly functioning in the site, then visibly you can see near misses are high, accidents are high, then the accidents, number of accidents increases, then safety officer position is a question. When the safety officer properly know the responsibilities, then only you can survive as a safety officer. Your career also gets flourished. Then if you want to go as a safety officer in a high level, safety officer becomes senior safety officer. Senior safety officer becomes safety engineer, senior engineer, then advisor, safety manager, then safety director, then safety vice president. So these all the positions comes only by means of when you know the responsibility of the safety officer. When you know the responsibility of the safety officer, then only you can survive as a safety officer. So the safety officer responsibility is very important. You must know these things. When you know the workplace inspection, how to inspect. When you know the safety policies, how to enforce. When you know the training, how to train the workers. How tactically or technically you can train the employees is very important. You cannot simply train the employees. New employees are different. Old employees are different. Middle level employees is different. So you have to train according to the employees. So HSE training is art. You must know it. When the toolbox tax is different from this HSE trainings. Then action investigation, the root cause finding is very difficult. So you have to, every day it's a learning process. You have to learn, then only you'll be perfect safety officer. Then when you have a proper permit to work system, then only when you have a proper work system, then only you can have a proper safety system in your company. Then checkpoints properly monitored, then only you will be having the proper permit to work system and the accident minimizing. Then emergency preparedness, conducting the emergency drills. So that is very important. When you are keeping on recording the emergency drills, that will be the one of the major area every auditor, the ISO 45001 and ISO 14001. Those two auditors, when they are coming, they will check this emergency preparedness drill conducting form. Once you conducted the drill, you have to fill the form and get the signature from all the employees participated. That form is the document for your side, when you conducted, where you conducted, how you conducted, what kind of response are there, is there, it's all there in that in this emergency evacuation drill form. So that you have to maintain. Then monitoring and compliances. You have to follow the local international safety rules and regulations. That is compliance you have to follow. Then you have to monitor all the safety things, whether PPEs or safety, what all safety programs, safety policies, safety standards of the company. So overall, you have to monitor and record it. And these monitoring and records, you have to make a reports, daily report, weekly report, monthly report, and then these reports you have to give it to superiors, and also you have to file it for your references. So these are the major responsibility of the safety officers. If you have any questions, you just ask me. I'll try to answer for those questions. Okay. Any questions from your end? Okay. So, thanks for your time to participate this responsibility of safety officers training. Tomorrow 3 p.m. also we have a training. So don't forget to watch it, our HSE Mindset channel. So continuously we have a live programs Thursday, Friday. So there are HSE courses, continuous HSE live courses, then videos are available in our HSE Mindset playlist and also in video section and live sections also available. You can go and watch it. Definitely you will get lot of information in this HSE Mindset channel. Then you can improve your, as a safety officer, you can improve and learn lot. So that is your final goal. You can improve lot from this HSE courses. So don't forget to watch it. Still you didn't subscribe it. When you subscribe, then only you immediately get whatever videos, shorts we are sharing. Immediately it's reached by it will be reached to you, because when you are not subscribing, it will not come to you. So subscribe it, share it, like it. We hope you enjoyed this session. You have any doubts, just give a comment. We will try to answer for that. So thanks for viewing. Thanks for participating. I hope definitely you will get more information in this. Thank you very much. You see, the responsibility of the safety officers is totally how you are dealing, you are acting as a safety officer is very important. When a safety officer, when you started first day itself, it's a learning process. How much you learned, how much you observed, how actively you working as a safety officer, that is important. The certificates, whether NIBOSH, IVOSH, OSHA, okay, for certification wise is okay, but it's not a matter when you are not learning. You have to learn, then only you can improve your safety officer's career. So you have courses like NIBOSH, IVOSH, OSHA, but that certificate in latter part, you can get it. But when you work in the site with this responsibility of a safety officers, when you are 100% working in this, then only you can improve as a safety officers. Otherwise, it's a difficult, whether you have a certificates, all certificates, but you are not learning, you are not in the site, you are not seeing the responsibility of the safety officer, then it's your career upliftment going to the top is a difficult, even though you have a certificates. When it's come to the interview, the safety people ask, the employer side safety or HSE consultant ask lot of site-based safety questions only. So when you learn only, you can answer it. So make sure you have to make sure you are following the responsibility of the safety officer and working accordingly, and you are every day learning, observing, finding the hazards, monitoring and compliances. That will be your career upliftment. Make sure being a safety officer, you are working hardly. Thank you very much.